The articles of impeachment are finally sent to the Senate. My name is Andrew Alvarez, and I am the Latino conservative. Hey guys, this is Andrew Alvarez again. I am the Latino conservative. And yesterday, the House voted to finally send the articles of impeachment to Senate. Now let's analyze this for a little bit. I'm no law expert, but the House voted to send the articles of impeachment to Senate. About 3 weeks ago, almost a month ago, the House voted on articles of impeachment. Nancy Pelosi didn't send those articles over yet, and there was debate on whether Donald Trump was actually impeached before the articles got sent to Senate. But she waited almost a month. Why did she do that? And then, after that, they voted again on impeachment. They voted to send the articles of impeachment to the House of Senate. So why did they have to vote on a vote? Isn't that kind of redundant? Isn't that, again, wasting taxpayers' time? And time is money, so essentially they're wasting taxpayers' money when they could be doing something different, something else, something more productive. So Nancy Pelosi had a vote made on a vote to send articles of impeachment. And then she assigned 7 trial managers. Those impeachment trial managers essentially are like prosecutors. My issue with who she selected, Adam Schiff for one. Adam Schiff should not be a manager, should not be the prosecutor in here. He should be a witness. I think this is a ploy for her to ensure the Democratic Party does not have to deal with Adam Schiff being called as a witness, because if he was called as a witness, he could possibly destroy the whole case. He might very well may destroy the whole case for the Democrats. And let me flip this around real quick. As you'll hear me say a lot, the Democratic Party, the Republican Party. The truth is, I believe both parties are necessary. I like both parties. When I'm referring to the Democrats in this case, I am referring to the radical left-wing liberal Democratic Party. Those do not represent the true Democratic Party. The Democratic Party, the true Democrats, are hardworking. They work for everything they have. But they understand, too, that hey, I might need a handout every now and then. I had a discussion with somebody, and I am a firm believer of teaching a man to fish. For a long time, you'd hear me say, give a man a fish, you feed him for a day. Teach a man to fish, you'll feed him for a lifetime. Everybody says that. It's a well-known saying. From that point, I started saying something more along the lines of, don't feed the animals. You see a lot of signs, a lot of state signs in parks and such that say, don't feed the animals. Specifically because that animal that you feed will become acclimated to a person hand feeding them. Animals are wild. They'll keep coming back though. They'll see that as a food source and keep coming back. The best animal, you give it a fish, you teach it to fish at the same time. What I mean by that is that most of the times, yes, you want to teach a person to fish. You want to teach them how to become self-sustaining entities in their own. But every now and then, I understand that to get that person to the point where they can survive long enough to be able to learn how to fish, I might need to be a little charitous and give them a fish at the same time. So I digress. Back to the whole impeachment party. The Democrats are claiming that they waited so long because they want to ensure that there's a fair trial. What happened to the fair trial in Congress? Donald Trump wasn't allowed to call any witnesses. The Republicans weren't allowed to call any witnesses. One of the impeachment managers, Mr. Nader himself, totally shot down any and every attempt for any Republican to call a witness to testify. Yet, they want Senate to give the Democratic Party a fair trial. The thing is, the Senate will. I've listened to some of the senators talk. Ted Cruz, for example, great guy. He wants, and he is a very advocate for witness reciprocity. What that means is, if the Democratic Party calls 10 witnesses, The Republican Party is going to call 10 witnesses as well. Both parties are going to be heard. Both parties are going to be rightly represented in this case, in this trial, as it should be. We have a constitutional amendment that deals with due process. Due process basically means any process that I am due to give myself a fair and speedy trial, I am allowed that. So something else that y'all might not have heard of, the Obama administration has been linked to giving Iran tips on how to beat America in foreign policy. Now I know the Iran strike and the Iran issue that we had, and I use the air quotes, is a few days old, but this is a story that I happened up across. Here's some little video on that.
New reports are shedding some light on the role the Obama administration is currently playing in regards to the conflict between the U.S. and Iran. Here's One America's Jack Posobiec.
In a shocking new report today, we are now learning that former members of the Obama administration have been caught holding back-channel communications with Iranian officials on how to defeat U.S. foreign policy under the Trump administration. Specifically, they've been contacting Iran's foreign minister, Mohammad Javad Zarif. One American News exposed John Kerry's illegal shadow diplomacy with Zarif last year, when the two were caught holding secret meetings together in Paris and photos were taken of them. Kerry's deep ties to Zarif are well known. In some cases, Obama officials reportedly attended Capitol Hill meetings to learn information about new U.S. policies from congressional Democrats and then relayed that information to the Iranian government. This, of course, is in violation of the Logan Act, the same act that General Flynn was spied upon after Trump had been elected. Obama officials are desperate to rebuild the Iran nuclear deal that Trump dropped, and they are working with their allies in Congress to complete it. All of this comes at a time when the Trump administration has been successful in isolating Iran from many of its European allies and trading partners, and now in some cases is even seeming to isolate Iran from Syria and Russia by pulling Hezbollah fighters out of Syria and Russia rejecting Iran's offer to purchase a major air defense system from Moscow. The U.S. has also labeled the Iranian Revolutionary National Guard a terrorist force and sent military equipment to the Middle East with escalating tensions against the Islamic Republic. To be clear, the fact that former Obama officials are holding shadow diplomacy with Iran and possibly passing them information from allies in Congress to undermine U.S. foreign policy is shocking and must be investigated by AG Barr immediately. Let that sink in. For One American News, I'm Jack Posobiec.
Pretty interesting, huh? So, before everyone goes off the hook saying the Obama administration is the best administration, they're helping other countries beat us. Why? Other countries that we have direct issues with right now, they are advocates for. Why is the Obama administration even an issue anymore? President Obama is no longer the president. He served his 8 years. He did his job. He went home, as he should be. There are too many high-profile politicians that when they leave office, they are hired by companies as lobbyists. They are hired by other entities as lobbyists in high-paying jobs. I'm part of a group called Represent Us, which looks at those people. And we are actually working on contacting, starting at the local levels, contacting representatives locally, because that movement, once it goes from the local scene, it'll go to the state scene, from the state scene, it'll go to the federal scene. But we're contacting and putting pressure on our current representatives to make that illegal. There is no reason why a politician should have any power after they're in office. And you know, there is no reason why a politician should be in office for 5 decades. 20 years is a long time for a politician to be in a single office. That gives them an unfair strength, unfair advantage over other politicians, and they act like they are going to be for the people on that. But after so long, you get these corporate entities coming in and putting money in their pockets. You don't know about it. That's called dark money. They do it through charitable organizations. They do it through other entities that aren't trackable right now. That should be stopped. Prime example. There's a representative right now in Texas Congressional District 7, Lizzie Fletcher. I'm being served Facebook ads right now for her campaign for 2020, and the topic is Lizzie Fletcher is helping to stop Big Pharma. Okay, so that title sounds kind of good. Lizzie Fletcher is a brand new politician. She's a freshman politician. She's been in there for less than 2 years. Her policies haven't done much at all. She hasn't done much at all, period. She has done this. Yay. Nay. That's all she's done all year long. These companies like this campaign organization because it was paid. That ad was paid by a super PAC. These companies are already digging into their pockets because they know Lizzie Fletcher is in a prime spot to be influential to other politicians because of specifically where she's at in the pool that she has. You see, Lizzie Fletcher is in the Houston area. Katy area is right next to Houston, if you don't know. So Lizzie Fletcher is here. To the north, you have Sheila Jackson Lee, a very influential Democratic politician. Now, let me remind you of Sheila Jackson Lee. She said that she held an AR-15 once. She said that AR-15 felt like a box full of books or a full box, big box for moving. An AR-15 weighs 10 pounds, 12 maybe if you put a nice scope on it. So right to the south of Sheila Jackson Lee, you have Al Green, another highly influential politician in the Houston area. Now, Al Green has also been in office for close to 20 years. This past year, actually, I want to say everything that he has done has been for impeachment. He comes up on his feed showing a sign of how many days versus weeks and whatnot for impeachment. That has been his sole priority. What about Hurricane Harvey relief? Hurricane Harvey devastated the Houston area. Floods galore. Just about every piece of land in that area was flooded. I've got people from Victoria. When I was living in Victoria, they came over with boats to help rescue people. What about that? What happened to that money? People don't know what happened to that money. What about all these roads in Houston that are under endless construction? That is being paid by federal money. 290? Have you tried to drive on 290 lately? Go down 45. It's a mess. When is this I-69 corridor going to be fixed? You know, I lived in Houston 2 times. Once about 8 years ago, and then once now. 8 years ago, I would drive home to Victoria to go visit family, friends, and whatnot, and the roads were messed up. The same spots right outside of Rosenberg in Al Green's district, those roads, they still look the same. In fact, I think they've gotten worse. It seems like there is never not construction on roads in Houston. What are Sheila Jackson Lee and Al Green doing to help remedy that? Yes, they are federal. They are federal representatives. They can't technically control or say what local or state employees do. They can't. What they can do is say, you're not using this money the way you said you were. We're going to take it back. But no, what they're real big hell-bent on doing is saying, impeach Trump. When is that waste of money going to stop? People can say all day long, well, Trump goes on these golf trips. Obama went on these vacations. In fact, he spent almost a year total on vacation. In vacation time. George Bush did. Bill Clinton went on vacations, went on trips. All of these presidents, every single president I want to say has done something like that. So what makes Trump special about it? Oh, he spent more money because he had Secret Service. He's going to have Secret Service there regardless. Whether he is a president after his presidency, he is going to have Secret Service. Did you know that? After his presidency, he's still going to get paid. In fact, after their terms, Sheila Jackson Lee is going to get paid still. Al Green is still going to get paid. Something about that needs to change. So here's something that I want to do. Something that I'm real big on. Term limits. If I do in fact get elected, because those of you who know me that in 2022 I'm going to pursue a spot in Congress. If I am elected, I will push wholeheartedly term limits. There should be no reason why a congressman is in Congress for 20 years. That leaves too much chance for corruption. That leaves too much opportunity for corruption by having corporate entities influence your choices. I'm going to touch on that a little bit now. Corporate entities, are they bad? No. Corporate entities hire and support the small guy. And I say the small guy, and I'm talking about the person who goes to work, punches a time card, does his job, punches his time card again, and goes home. So corporate people are important. However, there needs to be a little adjustment on that too. There's no reason why a person goes into work 40 hours a week and then has to go find another job just to make ends meet. Now, am I saying raise the minimum wage to $15 an hour? No, I'm not saying that. I'm not saying make that a federal mandated choice. However, but what I'm saying is make it something that's feasible for a corporation to do. Make it competitive. So make unions more of a thing. Texas doesn't have unions right now. And, in a way, I'm okay with that. But at the same time, the bargaining power of a union to make fair wages for their employees, fair rights for their employees, it's phenomenal. I used to work in Shreveport, Louisiana, and I was part of Communication Workers of America. I'm getting more towards that here in just a little bit. But Communication Workers of America, they made it possible for us to all be treated fairly, be treated equally, get equal pay, have the benefits that we were afforded. They gave us a fair set of vacation time. Benefits were awesome. So our unions, they had a certain set of representatives at each place that we elected, and they went to battle for us. Communication Workers of America, CNN employees are part of that. CNN just took a big swipe at Bernie Sanders, and they just said, we are for Elizabeth Warren. See, before the debate came out a couple days ago, they published an article without fact-checking saying Bernie Sanders said a woman cannot win the election. That is totally false, guys. Everybody knows that if there is a woman capable of winning the elections, she can. Heck, Hillary almost did. That's a whole different topic. Hillary won the popular vote while Donald Trump won the electoral college vote. If there is a woman who runs for president who is the better candidate, she will win. But without fact-checking this, CNN said Bernie Sanders told Elizabeth Warren that a woman cannot win the elections. So CNN became a super PAC at this point in time. And they're the biggest super PAC out there, by the way. Just so you know, they don't publish true news. They publish media. Essentially, they're entertainment. The moderator for the debate came out and asked Bernie Sanders a question. She said, is it true that you said a woman cannot win the elections? Bernie Sanders said no. He said that during the debate. She went right after that and asked Elizabeth Warren a question, and I'll let you listen to that video clip right now.
Let's not turn to an issue that's come up in the last 48 hours. Senator Sanders. CNN reported yesterday that, and Senator Warren confirmed in a statement, that in 2018, you told her that you did not believe that a woman could win the election. Why did you say that?
Well, as a matter of fact, I didn't say it. And I don't want to waste a whole lot of time on this because this is what Donald Trump and maybe some of the media want. Anybody knows me, knows that it's incomprehensible that I would think that a woman could not be president of the United States. Go to YouTube today. There's a video of me 30 years ago talking about how a woman could become president of the United States. In 2015, I deferred, in fact, to Senator Warren. There was a movement to draft Senator Warren to run for president. And you know what? I stayed back. Senator Warren decided not to run, and I did run afterwards.
Senator Sanders, I do want to be clear here. You're saying that you never told Senator Warren that a woman could not win the election.
That is correct.
Senator Warren, what did you think when Senator Sanders told you a woman could not win the election?
I disagreed. Bernie is my friend, and I am not here to try to fight with Bernie.
Pretty amazing how a news, yes, I'm using the air quotes, how a news company can say they're providing news when they're obviously just a big, huge editorial, a big, huge opinion. In this day and age, if you're still relying on people like CNN, MSNBC, Fox News, and yes, I'm using like both sides. If you're still using them as your sole source of news, you're doing it wrong. Look behind the story. Those guys are great at publishing these articles that are good for clickbait, because what happens is on that click, the person who clicks that is served different ads for different whatever. Anything from a Google sponsored ad to an ad that company put on their website itself, and somebody else is paying for that placement. It's part of digital marketing. The more clicks they get, the more money they get. People make millions of dollars every year just on those ads, just on creating those ads, by millions of people clicking. Look at the thumbnail of this video. It drew your attention, didn't it? It made you want to click, didn't it? My point exactly. These entities that are publishing these news stories are making up articles, making up headlines to get people to click, get people to watch, get ratings, get viewings, just so they can make another dollar. It's a hustle, guys. Anyone who's been in any type of sales industry, any type of digital marketing knows it's a hustle. It's media. It's not news. So watch your news sources. Vote for who you think is the best. In about 6 months, the Democratic Party is going to announce their Democratic nominee. Personally, if it's not Bernie Sanders, who I think would be the best Democratic person out there to face Donald Trump, I would like to vote for Andrew Yang if I was voting Democrat. Hey guys, thanks again for listening. If you like what you see here, if you like what you've heard, don't forget, down at the bottom, there is a subscribe button. If this is on Facebook, please share it. Tell me your opinions. I would love to know what you think about it. If you want any other videos made, if you have any topics you want me to talk about, please let me know. But like, share, subscribe, and turn on your notifications. My name is Andrew Alvarez, and I am the Latino Conservative. Hey guys, thanks again for listening. This is Andrew Alvarez, the Latino Conservative. I am your voice. If you have any questions, feel free to leave them in the comments. Also, don't forget to like and share this post. If you're on YouTube, please hit the subscribe button and sign up for alerts. Thank you again.